Alright, so before this video starts, it is about ranked, right? That's the main topic that I wanted to talk about, the ranked matches and the tournament mode coming, right? The PvP sort of aspect of the game. Um, Real quick though, I do want to show off these 3 sneak peeks. It's not enough to make a whole video on, but this is deflecting key blasts. That's what it looks like, right? So you can deflect volleys and you can deflect, I'm assuming also like normal E-blast too, right? So this is what is it? Power scaling kinda. So in my previous video I made, I sort of talked about if you have to fly up and down, it's a little dumb. But you just it's not like that at all. It's just press 1 and 2 to change your damage output. Press 3 and 4 to change your damage output, right? Or this is damage and then this is defense, right? So you can make it so that you do a lot of damage but have low defense, or the other way around, you have a lot of defense but do low damage, right? You can change how much power output you use of your power level, right? Which is always a good thing, like a good option to have, right? All you gotta do is activate your key sense to do it as well, so that's cool. Right, that's good. And then taunts. I don't know what this taunt is supposed to be, really. Just looks like a like it looks like it starts off as like the robot kinda, and then it just goes into like a fighting pose. It's weird. It's a weird taunt, but you know, that's some of the taunts or one of the taunts that are gonna be in the game. Um which one was it in? Was it in game update? No, it was in main announcements. Here it is. Um Now I'm gonna talk about the significance of all these changes and everything. So the first thing is that when you load into the game, you can literally just choose to go to queue to ranked like immediately when you load in. Like, you know, the start menu where you click load game and then you click a slot. You can just instantly go into ranked, right? So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's already like, and what I take from that option being added is that Sunny is trying to make it so that uh ranked is like a not really like an option that you take, but just part of a game in general. Like in Final Stand, there were like two sort of groups of players. There were like people that played ranked and then people that grinded all the time. Like some people did both, but like a lot of the time, like PvPers would just do the minimum, like for grinding, or like they would grind their account up like once and then get like, you know, get good enough and then just grind PvP all the time, right? Good enough stats to grind PvP. In this game, in DBOG, I don't know, like, I don't think that's gonna be a thing because in DBOG, I feel like leveling is a lot more important. Cause like the higher form you go, it's multiplier based, right? You gotta every new form you get, it's harder to master in ranked or in PvP, and you have to have your form mastered in PvP or you're done for, right? Um, so obviously, like form mastery is very important, and it gets harder as each new form comes out. Um, each new world is gonna come out with new forms and everything, right? So you have to grind like each new update, right? Each new major update's gonna have like higher level cap. You gotta grind to the level cap, right? There's also like, sorry, there's like the time chamber. There's like, I think there's wishes that give skill points. I forgot. I don't know. From like, I think like Purunga might. I forgot, to be honest. Or Shenron. Um, time chamber gives skill points. What else gives skill points? The training quests that are being added, like the Grand Kai training quest or whatever, right? So you got to do those every day. And it's just like, I feel like all the PvPers that are going to be playing are also going to have to be grinders as well, right? You can't just be a PvPer in this game. You have to be a grinder as well. Which honestly, I like that, right? That makes sense. Like it just making you play the game more, which is the the sort of goal of the game is to get you to play, right? So that's good. Being being like forcing you to have to work for your levels and your stats and everything, because stats matter as much as skill does, right? You know, you could be the most skilled person in the world. You have one stat point. You're not gonna beat a level 500 no matter what you fucking say. In this game, you can't, right? In Final Stand, it was like remotely possible as like a level 100 to beat like a level 400. It was definitely possible because I fucking did it, right? You know, and if I can do it, you know, I'm sure most people could, right? So it was definitely possible in Final Stand to like overcome crazy amounts of stat differences, but there was a point where it just became too much. Um, like me and Karma, two PvPers, obviously we were both sort of out of our league in that time, but we were still PvPers, right? We still knew what we were doing. We were facing Jordan, if you remember those videos. Jordan was not really a heavy PvPer at the time, but he has a level like he was at insanely high level, like Namekian or whatever. Like, well, I forgot what level he was, but like it was insane, right? It was unfair how high level he was, and we couldn't beat him teaming up on him. We couldn't beat him fused. We couldn't beat him Ultra Instinct and God form usage. Like we just couldn't do it. No matter how much higher skilled we were, you couldn't do it because it was just unfair at that point. And that's how DBOG is gonna be, but even more so. Like um the level difference just matters that much, right? So you have to be grinding to keep your level up, which is good, of course, right? And I know there's gonna be the ego maniacs in the chat, or like the hardcore PvPers, like, oh, I can beat, you know, a level 500 as a level 1. It's like, no, the fuck you. I'm not even gonna entertain those people. Actually, you know, I would talk about it, but I'm not even gonna entertain that thought because you know they're kids, right? No sane person is gonna think that, so there's no point in even arguing it. But yeah, anyway. And I'm not saying you can't overcome a level difference, like you have to be the same level as someone or else you're gonna lose or higher. That's definitely not true. But you do have to be like remotely in their league of level, right? Anyway, another thing with all this is that like not only are PvPers gonna have to become grinders to like level up in ranked and everything, but there's so much you get from doing ranked in tournaments that like or not so much as tournaments. Tournaments you just get clout more. Um well you do get Zenny from tournaments as well, right? Which is important. But like with ranked in tournaments, there's like rewards that you're gonna be getting. Like you see here, you gain Zenny if you're on a winning streak. Zenny's gonna be important, right, for buying Senzu beans, um, buying all the clothes in the game. Like there were people in Final Stand that like um legitimately hated PvPing and literally only wanted to like complete the game itself, which was, you know, personally, I don't see what's so good about that if you're not doing it to PvP because like eventually you're going to complete the game in a PvE standpoint. Eventually you're going to complete it. And then what, right? And then what? You know, there's not really anything else like, oh, you're going to go even higher level, right? Like, oh well, right? Who cares? Like and with DBOG the leveling is capped every update anyway, so like there's a point where you're gonna buy all the clothing, you're gonna buy all the moves, you're gonna complete all the mentors, like you're gonna beat every quest, right? So like there's no point in really going higher and higher. Unlike in Final Stand, which is basically uncapped for years, right? Like a couple year time period where the game was just uncapped, where you just did Broly's over and over. Um, but moving on from that, right? Um, what was I talking about? I completely forgot. Oh yeah, so in DBOG, eventually they're gonna do everything. So you sort of have to turn the PvP if you want to keep playing, and keep doing things and keep things fresh. So you might as well just turn the PvP like not after you do everything, but PvP will help you do everything because you're gonna get a lot of Zenny from PvPing, right? And you're gonna get better and getting better at PvP is gonna make you better at the game entirely because you're gonna be able to take aspects from PvP and apply it into what's it called? Imply it into PvE as well and grinding and everything, right? So yeah, getting the Zenny from PvPing like in ranked is gonna help you be able to buy like beans or like, you know, stuff like that, so that you can uh keep facing like raids and everything, make sure you don't die, right? So and there's also I don't know if there's gonna be anything else. I can't think of it. Um, any other exclusive rewards? I think there will be eventually for like ranked and everything, but for right now, I believe it's just mostly Zenny. And of course, you get a statue, right? You get a statue if you win tournaments. If you're number one for the tournament thing, right? Whoever is number one gets a in-game statue in the arena, right? That's pretty cool. Leaderboards reset once a week as well. Sorry, this I just woke up, and I haven't been taking care of myself, so I'm dehydrated and my allergies are getting to me. Uh, what else is there to talk about really? I don't know if there is much else to talk about. The sort of moral of the story here and with this video is that like if you are somebody who is only interested in PvP, get to grinding because you're gonna need to eventually, and you're gonna be left in the dust. You have to do your training, your skill point quest every day. You gotta get your Dragon Balls all that you can. Um, right? You have to get the Dragon Balls so that you could watch for those skill points. You're gonna have to do the time chamber every day, right? So yeah, and if you're a grinder, consider doing ranked because there's gonna be a lot of upsides to doing ranked, right? With little downsides. Not to mention that PvP is meant to be fun, right? So, and if you don't have fun PvPing, then like probably one thing is with it is that you're like I don't mean to be rude, and I mean I apply this to myself as well. Like I this applies to me as well as you're probably just not that good. Um, I don't think I'm very good at this game. Like I have like basic like combat like the basics down like and like game mechanics down like probably like better than a lot of people, even like the PvPers in the game. But like the just the feel for the PvP, I just haven't done it enough to get the feel for it. The muscle memory, like everything like that, right? I don't know like what the most damaging moves in the game are. I don't really know like how like knockback works on like these key moves that people use. Like I'm not really like too familiar with what works and what doesn't, right? So um but like I'm saying, like that'll come with just playing and practice, right? Uh, Practice makes perfect. I know you've heard it a million times, but it's just genuinely just true that if you keep doing something, that you're just gonna get better at it eventually. As long as you're not practicing it incorrectly. And it's hard to practice it incorrectly. Just sort of seek out players that are better than you and see what they're doing and try to see what they're doing and apply it to your own sort of way of playing, right? So that is definitely something I want to work on when the game comes back as PvP, because like this ranked stuff seems like a lot of fun to me. So I probably will. I'll probably have an anonymous account as well, so that I could just do this without like being judged, because I'm a YouTuber. Just so I can learn how to play. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just do it on my main. I probably won't be bothered. I probably won't even just be bothered to make an like anonymous account just to do ranked. Like, who knows? We'll see. We'll see how much I get into the game when it comes back. But yeah, that's sort of it for this video. Um, like I said, grinders try to focus on PvP a little more. PvPers try to focus on grinding a little more, right? Because the best way to go about the game is to learn both. So yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time. And yeah, and don't worry, don't comment about me being dehydrated. I'm gonna go get a drink right now. I had no idea that I was this thirsty before I started recording because I wasn't talking to anybody. I'm just sitting here quiet. I don't know how it's gonna feel when I start talking, right? And I don't know what I'm gonna do about my allergies, to be honest. But yeah, uh, don't worry about me.